Porn is free, but it costs you your soul. Some of you may have already heard this, and some of you have already checked out right now and going, God, another guy who's anti-porn. I'm not anti-porn, guys, but I've worked with thousands and thousands of men in my career now and know that when a man shifts and matures away from porn, his life, his relationship, his sex life often get infinitely better. In December, ChatGPT is allowing adult content. And so there has never, ever, ever been a better time to release yourself from the grip of porn or to grow out of it than right now. Right? I remember years ago, I was on this MMA forum and a guy popped in, right? And it was just a bunch of dudes chatting about all kinds of stuff. And he said, hey guys, I tried VR porn. Of course, this was of interest to a forum full of men. And the guy's like, how was it? How was it? How was it? And he goes, I will never look at it again because I intuitively know it's going to get so good, it will blow me away. It'll end my relationship with sex as I know it. It may even get better, or it will feel better on some level than real sex. I don't even want to know it exists. Now, guys, that was like 8-10 years ago, right? When ChatGPT comes out with allows adult content, you are going to be able to have tailor-made whatever you want delivered into your phone, your computer, your ears on a daily basis. And I just got to say, I hope part of you feels that that's not going to be good for you. Right? This is like when the crack epidemic hit. A lot of people, a lot of communities were like, we can't play with this. This is going to decimate us. And so I don't want to just like give you the negatives. I want to talk a little bit about what I've seen with men and my own journey and how you can specifically take 3 action steps to work away from porn. All right, if you guys don't know me, my name is Traver. I run a men's movement. I've written a book called UNcivilized. I work with men every single day. My journey started because a decade ago, I got divorced and I was like, you know what I want to get rid of? I want to get rid of alcohol. I want to get rid of porn. I want to get rid of some other stuff, but those were the biggies. Alcohol was easy. I didn't like feeling like shit on Saturday mornings. And if any of you are over 35, you realize that the price you pay gets worse and worse. Like I'd have a drink on a Wednesday and feel like crap till Sunday. So I got rid of it. But porn was different, right? There was no hangover. There was no smell. It didn't affect my health. But I just intuitively knew this isn't something I want to engage with. And that was a decade ago. Now I'll tell you, I live my fantasy life. This is the point I hope you get across in this video. I live my fantasy sex life. I live my fantasy business life. I live my fantasy travel life. I live my fantasy life right now. It is bonkers how great my life is. Now, a decade ago, it wasn't that way. I hadn't written books. I hadn't started a movement. I hadn't done TED Talks. I wasn't traveling the world teaching and speaking. I wasn't having the kind of sex I'm having now regularly, but I was engaging in fantasy a lot of the day. More often in the day than I'd like to admit. I was engaging in fantasy. Truly, I was just watching porn every free moment I could. So think about this. Think about it from an investment standpoint. If you're constantly investing your life force, your creative energy, your sexual energy, which is your creative energy, the most powerful energy on earth is sexual energy. If you're investing that just into fantasy, into something that lives on your computer or lives on your phone, then you can't invest that same thing in your real life, your 3D life, your on-the-ground life. Hear that, right? I run a workshop every year called Kill the Nice Guy and tell those guys, there is a reality out there where you get to live the life you actually want. And it starts with living the sex life you want. Trust me. You get off porn and your sex life, whether you're married, single, whatever it is, will radically change. Okay, enough. I hope I've sold you on this. Here are 3 things that I did and I've helped guys with for years now that will be instrumental. Number 1, make the commitment. I know it sounds trite, it sounds basic, it sounds cliche, but acknowledge, I don't want this in my life. I did that with alcohol. I was like, I just don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't like bars. I don't like paying $15 for a drink. I don't like feeling like shit. I don't like anything that it has to do with. I'm just getting rid of it. Make the commitment. for at least 30 days. If you can go 60 days or 90 days, even better. Trust me, you will receive results. So acknowledge and commit. All right, period of time, I'm not looking at porn. And then notice what comes up for you. Is there anxiety? Is there depression? Is there a dip in your life? Do you not feel the dopamine rush? Right? Are you just hornier? Are you less horny? Oftentimes when guys quit, there's like a dip in their libido as their libido recenters itself. So number one, acknowledge and commit. Number two, this is a big one because so often men have shame around their porn use. Reach out to someone, right? We have the Uncivilized Nation, group of guys that are crushing shit. There are other men's organizations. There's therapy. There's online groups you can join. I first joined one of Robert Glover's, Dr. Glover from No More Mr. Nice Guy. He had a I Want to Get Off Porn group online. And I'll tell you guys, like, I was like, what am I doing? How can I do this? What are these guys going to think about me when I show up on that first call? And I was like, oh, they're in the Get Off Porn group with me. They're probably thinking the exact same thing I am. And they were. I'm still friends with a number of them to this day. So get some kind of outside resourcing, because relying on your own willpower isn't how we succeed in this life, especially as men, right? We have weightlifting partners, jiu-jitsu partners, business partners, coaches, accountability people. Like, get some outside support. That's really, really big. And number three, you have to find something to replace it with. Nature abhors a vacuum, right? I'm not the first person to tell you this. So if you create a vacuum and nothing conscious fills it, you'll probably refill it with porn again. There's this great book, I think it's called This Is How. The guy's name is Augustus Burroughs, who wrote it. And I read it when I got off alcohol. And he said, you have to find something bigger than alcohol. And he was like a raging alcoholic, had died a couple times on operating tables. And he said, I made writing bigger than alcohol. And I remember thinking, I'm going to do the same damn thing. And as I said, I've written 3 books since then. Now, it can be exercise, it can be finance, it can be meditation, it can be yoga, it can be dance, it can be fitness, it can be nutrition, it can be whatever it is that you want that's a bigger subject than porn. Or do this, right? If all of that energy is going into your fantasy life, what if you shifted it over to building your reality life? To making your life better, to making your life more awesome, to actually living the fantasy that you're stroking yourself to multiple hours a day. Why not make your real life that? But whatever you do, find something that's bigger than porn to replace it. So number one, acknowledge and commit. Number two, get some outside support. Even if it's just a bunch of group of buddies, be brave. Trust me, a lot of guys want to get off this. And number three, find something that's bigger than yourself to replace it with. All right, guys, if you like this video, please follow, share, comment. The point of everything that I do is to teach people how to live a soul-led life in what I consider a soulless world. And so I'll go back to my original statement when I opened the video. Porn is free because it costs you your soul.